Hi there. So on my very untidy desk, I'm going to give you a quick flip through of my Dyelusions Journal. So it's a kind of cardboard cover, which I haven't decorated yet, and I probably could. Maybe I will. Oops, sorry about the wobbling. It's got a little pocket in the front, which I put bits and pieces in. I can't actually remember what's in there. Oops. You can put scraps for collage. Oh look, I put my reference in there for when I was drawing Nefertiti. So, yeah. So, it opens here. This I actually did at the end. So, I started with this one and it was in 2017. So that's just drawing and a bit of colour in her eyes. I find that it's good for rubbing out. I can rub out on it, but I need to use fairly soft pencils. Not really soft, something just like 2B. And then I also found that I could use coloured watercolour pencils and water and do sort of these quite subtle faces. And the paper seems to handle that quite well. As you can see, that's a bit of a private one. There's not many in here, but I've covered them with post-it notes. This is another one. This is watercolour pencil. And what I did find though is that you can't work it too much. You need to be quite loose, and you probably can't see it, but it feels a bit rough in these places where I worked it. So that was something I learned pretty quickly, that this paper, it's like cardstock. This is the plain bit. It's like cardstock with a very smooth finish. Here's another one. This again is watercolour pencils, I think. Although it may actually be watercolour paint. Watercolour pencil. And you see, I found that if I could be quite loose about it and not worry, not be too perfectionist, then it works quite well. And that's actually good for me because I like working like that, and I find that it's just more fun. So if you're wanting to do something perfect, then this wouldn't be the place. But if you just want a bit of fun, and this is a bit of collage here. I just use glue stick and it sticks down fine. More drawings. And this was my first portrait when I tried to actually do a likeness of somebody. I had an interview, and this lady had really beautiful grey eyes, and I'd not seen eyes like that before, so I tried to draw her. This was actually using spray inks, so I sprayed, and then they made all these patterns, and then when they dried I went round them and made them into leaves and picked out flowers. That I think this was something that Christy showed us how to do. This one is markers actually, and trouble is I'm terrible at remembering what I've done. I think in future I'm going to write a little note as to what materials I use, because I'm pretty hopeless. But I think this one has got acrylic, watered down acrylic. But again, the page has taken it. This is a beautiful poem by Mary Oliver called The Journey. This is something that went wrong. So yeah, I don't really like that one. This one is, I didn't do any drawing. I just used watercolour, very light watercolour, and I let the face emerge. And again, it seemed to handle it all right. Here's some more watercolour faces. This one's a Christy style one. This one is a Loomis style, because I don't know if you remember that we were doing Loomis in one of her workshops, I believe. This one is just having fun with, I think these are acrylic inks. And I splurged around a bit, and then I realised that I could make them into a feathers headdress. And that was quite fun. But again, I'm not being too careful about it. And so if you don't overwork it, it's fine. More drawing. Doodle, really. Private. And these ones, you might have seen these. I'm sure I've posted pictures of these as I was doing them. Practicing faces. Lots of faces in this book. Then I tried to do bodies. I'm not too sure about that one. But anyway. Then I started doing doodling in the hair and in the clothes. More faces. Faces with a bit of collage. More faces. My husband says, "Why all the faces?" Yeah. We know why, all the faces. Anyway, here is more, I think again it's just playing with watercolour and then making them into flowers. This was just splodges and letting them merge a bit and then making them into flowers. Faces and doodles. Wild hair. More faces. Trying to do a body again. I'm not so sure. It's meant to be a flower fairy. More faces. See the glasses on that one. She looks very studious. And this is a spread about self-care. A lot of the themes in this book was about self-care because I was trying to look after myself a bit. This one. Again, it's very subtle watercolour pencil activated. And same for that one. And this one. This one is, I'm pretty sure that this is again using quite thick watercolours with a stencil and then going over it, and I think, no, that's right, we were doing single tones, so I did blue on her and then purple on her and red on this one. Another face with weird hair. Oh, I've really gone for it, that one. Doodles. Another flower fairy with a very silly hat or hair. It's meant to be a flower. And that's meant to be a daisy flower fairy with daisy hair, which kind of doesn't really work, but it's fun. This is when I was trying to draw Nefertiti, would you believe? It's not meant to be Tutankhamun. This was supposed to be Nefertiti, but she's very difficult to draw. She's so beautiful, but difficult. I tried to do, what do you call it, profile. And that's my effort at that. That's another picture of a face. More faces. 3 ladies. Oh yes, this is when I started doing mandalas, and this is a mantra. As you know, I'm very interested in mantras. That's a kind of mandala. There's another one. That's Metatron's cube, which I find beautiful and fascinating. And that's a flip. That's another one. Fear of flying. I think I was afraid of something. I don't know what. Oh, ooh, sorry about looking. This, we definitely did this with Christy. I think we did a drawing. We used red pencil to do the outline, and then we filled it in with watercolour. This is definitely watercolour. But look, it's handled it all right. if you feel the page does feel a little bit warped, but it's perfectly fine for a journal. I did it that one with blue and green, but the blue and the green tone didn't sort of work too well, but it's all learning. This one I copied a picture from a book. I actually used reference for once, which kind of helps actually, and I don't know why I don't do it more, but anyway. There she is. There's another one. Fearless. This one is meant to be an angel. And don't ask me why she's only got one wing. I think it's because I forgot to draw the other one in. And by the time I'd done all of that, I thought, no, she's just having one wing. Anyway, it's a poem again by Mary Oliver, which is really beautiful. It says, I don't care how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. It's enough to know that for some people, angels exist and that they dance. And that's fabulous, I agree. Travelling Kindness rocks, which are dotting rocks, but that's just a mandala. Another girl with pink hair. This one I copied from an illustration because I love this weird looking bloke. And a cat. So I copied it. This is another drawing, another watercolour pencil with water pen, and I intend to do some journaling on here, but as you can see I've forgotten about it and I haven't done it. And a few more faces. That mask, I had to draw that in myself because I wasn't able to cut one out from a magazine. Ha. More weird faces. Weird blodge playing with acrylic inks, I think, on that one. Faces, mandala. Another girl, part of the universe. Mandala. Another girl. And the final page, be, receive, give thanks. That's all we have to do really in life. It's easy, isn't it, if you follow those rules? And then I came to the front because I had a spare page, because for some reason I was scared about filling in the front pages. And I came back and I did another one. All the thoughts that go in our heads. Thoughts. Instructions from the universe. Be, receive, because it's all good, and give thanks. Easy. So that was my journal, and I quickly, while I'm here, I bought a different one to try, and this one was Pentalic, it's called, and it was a little bit more pricey, and actually I don't like it. I don't like it as much, and this one has proper watercolour paper in it, but I don't know, it just doesn't. I was going to do this for 2018, but I'm not going to go through this now, but I didn't get very far in 2018 because I didn't like the paper. So there you go, it's different strokes for different folks. So there you have it, that's my Dyelusions review. And I would say, give it a go, but try to be light with the watercolours and don't overwork it, and you'll be fine. It encourages loose working, which I really enjoy.